Back to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert, and I'm here with my good friend Dick Chudnow, the founder of Comedy Sports. We're talking about his roots in the art form in LA. Again, is this late 70s or so? Is that
No, that was early to mid 70s.
okay? And you
I
mentioned
was in
Kentucky. Yeah, you mentioned
Kentucky
Kentucky
Fried
Fried
Theater.
Theater too, which eventually that was the root of Kentucky Fried Movie. Am I right?
Right.
So people who are a fan of the cult favorite, that's awesome. And also being in LA, you were at least with what was your involvement with? Were you hanging out with the Zucker brothers with the airplane crew and all them too?
That was Kentucky Fried Theater was Dave and Jerry Zucker and Jim Abrams. And I got married and quit right in time, just before the big movies came out. Uh, I just want to be married, which 9 years later decided, no, I don't want to be married anymore. Uh, but yeah, that was a little traumatic. But yeah, we worked together, and it was a great relationship. We had so much fun doing Kentucky Fried Theater.
Yeah. So, okay, so you're in there and you were talking at the end of our last episode about catching the flow, which is a part of improv, as opposed to the shtick, right? People often mistake improvisation for a night at the improv, for stand-up comedy, for hey, look at me. And it's interesting, it's diametrically opposed. The result is often the same in terms of audience enjoyment. The way they enjoy it, though, and what they're seeing is extraordinarily different. And one thing that came to mind as you were talking, and I certainly feel it, is you mentioned lazy man's comedy and getting caught up in someone else's, their flow, as it were. It feels to me somewhat like cycling when you're drafting off of someone else. You're yes anding, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how easy this is when I am attached to in the flow with another person. Does that jive with your version of improv?
Yeah, Jerry Lewis is shtick. That's a supreme example of shtick, if you want to look at that. And then improv is Robin Williams,
Yeah.
who did perform with us once at Comedy Sports, and it was amazing. He played off of everything. You couldn't do anything that he didn't play off of. And it wasn't his show. He didn't make it his show. He made it a show, teamwork. He understands teamwork. Probably he understood it better than any other artist. Improv artist.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's so important what you said because I think people would see Robin and go, "Oh, this is coming so much from his mind." It's getting filtered through. It's almost like he's a master midwife because he's taking everything in. Like you said, he's listening at an extraordinary level and then filtering it and giving it back, right? It's not like he's coming up with, "Oh, I've written all this stuff." He's just an unbelievable listener and like you said, complimentary team player to others.
Yeah, he is. That's him. I once was on a bill, and I used to do stand up too, which I didn't like because it's not a team effort. You're up there all alone. But I was on a bill with him, and he tried to introduce a new character, and the character was kind of sticky,
Yeah.
and it didn't work. And that's the only time I've ever seen him uncomfortable on stage. I've
Yeah.
seen him a lot, not
Well,
many times, but I've seen him quite a few times.
yeah. And that exchange of, basically I'm here not, for you, but I'm here with you, right? That's the improvisation. For is like, look at me, the stand up. With is say, hey, look at us. And basically I'm seeing the same thing you are, and I'm going to turn it 35 degrees and you're going to go, oh my God. And it's like, well, it was already there. Yeah.
Teamwork is really a valuable thing to learn. That's why we do a lot of shows for businesses or improv workshops for businesses, so they learn that we're a team, and not one person is running the show. We're all running the show. Yeah.
Right. And the teamwork, of course, fits into sports. And I know you're a big Bucks fan. Are you a sports fan across the board or
Bucks, Brewers, Packers. Yeah.
you're
Um,
all there?
yeah, we have a group of people that call the Rotarians. We root for each other's teams. It's like a fantasy league, sort of.
Yeah.
If I root for your team wins, then I'm a winner too. It's a very bizarre kind of thing, hard to explain.
No, I think it fits perfectly actually with everything we're talking about in terms of the communal effort that makes improv and lifts us up. So let's come back, and what I want to graciously thank you for is you've been kind enough to read Acceptance, my new book, and I want to talk a little about improv because you mentioned how comedy sports certainly has what we call applied improv. That's big part of the roots. We can certainly get into that a little bit, and also maybe where improv continues to be applied, and certainly what I've done here with the Parkinson's community. So let's come back in the next episode and talk about that. Okay.
Okay.
See you on the next dose.